Hello, welcome back to Between Dollars and Dreams. I'm your host, David, and I'm here with Pierre Tomacek to talk to you about our upcoming webinar on February the 19th. That webinar is about RRSP season, which that is, of course, among us and upon us. It seems like a lot of people think that the March 2nd deadline to contribute is sort of all of RRSP season.
Yeah.
We all freak out at this time of year. How do I contribute? Am I contributing enough? What is my limit? It seems to be a sort of panic time for certain Canadians, this one included. So I'm just wondering, how can we sort of better address this? What are some sort of strategies we can do so that we know what's happening with our RRSP?
You know, it's funny, David. Back in the day when I worked at one of the big 5 banks, RRSP season, you were not allowed to go on vacation between the month of January and March. It was that's because this is when Canadians bought their RRSPs, right? And I think we've been conditioned ever since the 90s about this whole thing about RRSP season being January, February, and a bit of March. But as you mentioned, RRSP season is 12 months a year. Right? It's not just those 2 months out of the year. And people try to cram everything in 2 months. And unfortunately, you're bound to make some mistakes in terms of your plans. Instead of having a plan where you're planning for your future over a long period of time.
Okay. So again, planning is always key, it seems. I mean, this is, a financial planning webcast. So
I mean, it's the essence of our team, right? Yeah. We're about planning. We're not just about solutions. We're not here to basically sell you an RRSP or sell you a TFSA. We're here to figure out, does an RRSP or TFSA fit your plan, fit your goals to make sure that you are successful in whatever endeavors you want to do.
Okay. And that makes, of course, perfect sense. But I guess the question is, too, I mean, there is coordination that you can do between your RRSP and your TFSA. So say, for example, I only have X amount of room to contribute. I have to contribute that into my RRSP before the deadline, obviously. But then if I do have excess funds, you're saying that I guess obviously a TFSA could be a good secondary option.
I mean, ultimately, what you need to figure out, one, yes, it's your room, but am I going to owe taxes? If you're not going to owe, and if you're going to have a refund at the end of the year by not even contributing to an RRSP, then the need for the RRSP is not that great. So if you could only do one thing, let's figure out, am I going to owe CRA? If I'm going to owe CRA, then I might as well invest in myself, put money into an RRSP, as opposed to investing in CRA and paying taxes. So I will make the RRSP contribution if I'm going to owe. But if I'm not going to owe, then the need for an RRSP is not as great. Again, I could only do one thing. I only have enough money to do one thing. Then I would put the money into a TFSA because it's more flexible, right? So when times are dire, you could actually take the money out without any repercussion. But once the money is in the RRSP, if you take it out, you'll be bound to some withholding tax. So again, it goes back to planning. Let's plan for this. Let's look at your personal situation, and then we'll determine whether or not putting most of your money in an RRSP is suitable or, 50-50. I mean, the best of both worlds is you put money into an RRSP, get a refund, use the refund, and put that into the TFSA, or reinvest it for next year's RRSP contribution. So again, it's about planning.
Okay, so again, I guess the first take home here is that, RRSP season doesn't start on January and it doesn't end March 2nd. It's a year-long event. We should have a plan in order to contribute to that. Yeah. Because it is obviously in our benefit to do so. As you did mention, of course, the tax break, especially if you are in a higher tax bracket, you can even bring yourself down.
That's right.
Certain levels. So that's very interesting. And again, we do have that webinar coming up on the 19th. You can sign up through Eventbrite for that event. We do hope to see you all there to participate.
Yeah. I mean, also, we talked about the tax break and we talked about planning. Instead of doing it in one lump sum, why don't we take a bit per pay? We've talked about in webinars past, pay yourself first, right? Like take 10% of your income and redirect it in terms of a savings mechanism. So every pay, take a certain amount, $50, $100 per pay, put it into an RRSP or TFSA, and then by the time we get to the so-called RRSP season or the RRSP deadline, you already would have contributed about, let's say $1,200 if it's on a monthly basis, $100 a month, or in the 2,000 range. And then if your room is higher than that, then all you have to do is supplement it, as opposed to trying to find 5,000 by the RRSP deadline, which is March 2nd.
That makes perfect sense. And again, you mentioned sort of withdrawing as you get paid. So I guess a good way to do that as well would be automatic withdrawals. So let's say you get paid on a Friday, you just automatically put that money away to a different account. You don't see it, you can't spend it, and it's there as a savings and a backup.
Exactly.
So again, contribute to the RRSP if you can. If you can have extra money, the TFSA offers a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, and know your room. Because if you contribute more than your RRSP contribution room, there's a 1% penalty, over-contribution penalty, once it goes over the 2,000 threshold. So you never want to pay a penalty. So go on My CRA, you'll have your notice of assessment, and on that notice of assessment, it will tell you what your 2025 RRSP limit is, and also your TFSA. Limit. It's on that same notice of assessment.
Okay, I think that notice of assessment is that thing that the CRA mails back to me every year, and I just kind of look at it and I say, okay, that goes in the box.
That is correct.
But that does have pertinent information.
Exactly. But better yet now, it's no longer paper-based. If you register online, it's on My CRA. If you haven't registered, then it's a easy step to register online with CRA, and that way you have it available 24/7. Right, online.
Okay, perfect. So again, takeaways from this are planning. Don't just wait until the beginning of the new year to start worrying about your RSPs. Have that plan in place. Have that automatic withdrawal if you can. Automatic savings. Pay yourself first.
Exactly.
Maybe give yourself a small reward at the end of tax season. Maybe put in a couple dollars for a little toy or something.
Exactly. To Colombia.
Exactly, absolutely. And again, we do have that upcoming webinar on February the 19th. That's Thursday. We do hope that you can all sign up and join. We'd love to see you participate and ask some questions for that. Audience participation is very welcome. We'd love to see you all there. Well, thank you very much for your time, Pierre. It's been great chatting with you.
You always invite me back, so I'll be back again next week.
We'll be here again next week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.